For this edition of High Stakes Living, Card Player TV traveled all the way across the country to New York City to check out the apartment of Shane Schleger on Central Park.
Hi.
Hey Shane, how's it going?
Good. How you doing? Good to see you.
Very well. Good to see you as well. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks.
Thank you for having us over.
Thanks for coming. This is an apartment. Not really my apartment, but it's an apartment that's been in my family for 3 generations. We've been renting. Anyone who's lived in New York can tell you the value of a nice, inexpensive, rent-controlled apartment.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't give it up.
When I grew up around the corner, but this is really the one sort of homestead. My grandmother lived here, and then after she passed on, my father lives here, and I get to stay here whenever I come back. Sort of only thing I could consider home away from home while I'm back in New York. And that's about it. If you look around, this place is very cluttered with art. My father lives here, spends a lot of his time taking art class. Some of these sculptures, all these colorful works of art are mostly his. On the wall, you see some of these arts are more major works. This is a Calder painting. And if you look around, it's a variety of either amateur art that my father has made or some more famous prints, different things like that. If you look over here, you'll see probably the primary feature of this place, which is
amazing view.
A view of Central Park from the south. And from here you have a really nice perspective on one of the more serene aspects of the city. You've got the park. You can see Sheep's Meadow and see who's out there. It's just one of the nice things to feel very grateful, lucky to be able to have this perspective on the city. A lot of people are, holed up in walk-ups and
absolutely
one bedrooms, and
believe me, great view.
I was happy to in my walk-ups and one bedrooms throughout my 20s, but I'm also happy to have a nice little space like this to be able to look at.
You spend any time down in the park?
I do, lots of time. Climb trees, I walk around. I love the park. It's definitely a sanctuary in the city. Play a lot of tennis in the park. So yeah, New York is crazy and stressful, but the park is a bit of a sanctuary.
Well, you mentioned Yankee Stadium. You can see. Are you a Yankees fan or a Mets fan?
I'm not much of a baseball fan in general.
Right.
I'm actually passing on an opportunity to go to the last Yankees home game at the old stadium.
Why would you do that?
Because I got to play poker and I got to work, and even while I'm here in New York City, and no time for sentimentality. Got to just keep on working. This here is my father's office / bedroom. This is actually where he grew up, if I'm not mistaken. This was his bedroom as a child. Out this window, you can see the Hudson River sort of in the background, shrouded by all the buildings, including the new Time Warner building, AOL Time Warner building that's been up for a few years. I think it actually looks pretty good against the skyline. If you actually look over there, you can see the new Hearst building, which I think looks terrible against the skyline, kind of like crowded and futuristic in a weird way. But this is kind of an okay secondary view, not nearly as nice as the park. This here is the family pet. We never really had cats or dogs growing up. Had a couple snakes. Our childhood snake, which was a Colombian rainbow boa, passed away about a month ago. This right here is a Honduran milk snake, whose name is, I can't even remember. Evita.
How long is it?
Kind of I would say 3 or 4 feet? 3 or 4 feet long snake.
Probably 4 or 5 if you figure out how to stretch it out.
Pretty small, wiry, quick snake. Very pretty though. His skin is a little bit dulled right now. I think he's probably about to shed, but when his skin is fresh, it's got a very kind of nice orange and black contrast. And it's a snake,
Is he poisonous?
Not poisonous. However, if you let him out and aren't very careful with him, he can run away real easily.
So if you ever go bust, you can go down on the street and you can perform with the snake.
Yeah, I'm not really one of those. You won't see me with a big python on Union Square or anything, but this guy kind of it's not going to mess with you. Seems like he is getting a little slower in his old age. Used to be known as an escape artist. Now he's more just kind of like a chill old Honduran milk snake. Got another hallway cluttered with paintings. And here we go into the master bedroom. This was much the same view. This is where my grandmother lived and spent the last of her days. Little known fact about my family is that when they came over from the war, after World War II, they fled Germany, a very sort of famous boat called the St. Louis, also known as the Voyage of the Damned. You can Google it for more information. But after they came over here, my great-grandmother, whose name was Regina Jacobi, she started or managed a bridge and card club on the Upper West Side. So
it's in your blood.
There's a little bit of gambling in my blood. It might have skipped a generation or two, but I'm reclaiming the torch.
What brought you into playing cards?
I had nothing else to do. I was, pretty directionless and aimless. And while I was playing tennis up in Central Park, actually, I met someone who was part of the New York poker scene. This was a couple years after Rounders, and I just slowly got into going to clubs in New York and learning the game, slowly but surely. And can go on outside of this room. This, actually, not much more than a simple bathroom, but one of the things I like the most about this house, because you can be taking a shower early in the morning, open up the window, sort of zone out.
That's pretty cool.
Zone out here.
We hop in the shower with you, Shane.
Spend many minutes and hours just looking at the park with hot water running down your back.
That's awesome.
One of the little things I like about this house. And coming towards the end of the house tour, this is the kitchen. Not much to it, just a very typical kitchen, now cluttered mostly with art supplies and other little debris related to my father's art hobby. And that's about it. I mean,
does cooking take place here in the kitchen?
Not since my grandmother died that I remember. Maybe some macaroni and cheese has been cooked here in the past 5 years, but that's probably about it.
Living in New York, you can get anything delivered.
That is true. I'm not even sure what my father does for food or even eats. But this is kind of a cool thing that he, my father is a thorough tourist. He travels all over the world and collects little magnets. I think he's done a pretty good job here. Van Gogh, Cadbury, me at the final table, Godfather credit card, Tabasco sauce.
Got everything covered.
Pretty much has everything covered. I like it.
No smoking in the house?
No smoking in the house. It's been a big, long-time issue.
I can imagine.
A couple of burn marks have been controversial along the way.
Shane, you want to tell us the bong story real quick?
I don't. What is the bong story?
It's Amsterdam, your old apartment.
Apparently, this was an old smoking device, a bong, and my father refurbished into a piece of art because he doesn't want me doing drugs. I guess I was out of town and he raided my house and
where were you
stole
out
my
of town?
paraphernalia.
Yeah. Just explain
I was
that. You were
unavailable.
Unavailable, yes, elsewhere.
Incapacitated. That's about it.
So tell me a little bit about growing up in New York. What was your childhood like?
I went to school, not a good private school up in Riverdale, and I guess I lived a fairly comfortable upper middle class childhood. I really loved the city growing up. Now when I come back, it's too crazy, too hectic for me. I guess one of the things I enjoyed about the city was that you sort of grow up with adults. You're not really treated as a child. You have to kind of grow up fast, and I guess I enjoyed that. I feel like that served me well on an intellectual level. But now when I come back to the city, as having lived in Southern California and playing poker and being a professional slacker almost, it's just it's much different. It's not so much part of my
Too
identity.
intense.
It's too intense, too busy. I see a lot of people struggling, stressing out, and it's just it feels a lot more foreign to me than it used to. More, it's like you can never come home after you've been gone a little ways. I definitely pine for Southern California a lot, but this place still feels like home to me. It's nice to come back, and like I said, I grew up around the corner, so this is sort of my area. In the park, it's my park, and I guess it's it'll always be my city, whether or not it's my identity anymore.
Well, thank you very much for having us over. We really enjoyed looking around.
More than welcome.
I can
Thanks.
understand why you want to live here with this amazing view.
Thanks for coming over, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon. It was nice meeting you.
Doesn't so long.
Take care, Elizabeth.
Bye, Shane.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us to take a peek into the life of Shane and Peter Schleger in New York City. I'm Lizzie Harrison for Card Player TV, and I hope you enjoyed this edition of High Stakes Living.